I'm back. Everybody run! What's up, guys? My name is Elden. Welcome back to another art video. Today's art video, I'm going to be talking about what I have learned by doing these redraws, my 3-chapter redraws, and what I want to spread to you guys, because it was kind of interesting, like just the ups and downs of it, me wanting to do it and wanting not to do it. But for let's get on to the video. Okay, so this is gonna be just like off the top of my head of like my feelings and everything of when I was doing the redraws. And I haven't written anything down. I probably should have like at least bullet points or stuff like that. I probably should have written it down, but I haven't, so there's that. The first thing I want to talk about is how much I fucking hated it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the outcome of the drawings. I just hated redoing the drawings over again for a second time, because it wasn't something new. It was something I already did. Now there are different paneling choices and different perspectives and things that I chose to do just because I have developed as an artist. But the act of redrawing these pages that have already been released, which is needed, again, they were needed to update it, even though the first chapter redraw, which is like 50 something pages, already seems a little bit outdated, considering that I still developed as I was redrawing it. But that's neither here nor there. I am not fucking redrawing that again. It's already done. It's set. Okay, I'm moving on to chapter 4 in the other chapters that I've already sketched out over like a year ago or so. So I just want to move on from that. But yeah, I did not like redrawing these pages because of it just being the same old, same old. I did learn that I had a weird strict paneling type of thing, where like only certain things could be outside of the panel and blah blah blah. But with these redraws, I just did whatever the fuck I wanted. Essentially, like, I still have some baseline rules, like all the panels all the way around are like an inch with border and stuff like that. But for the most part, like, if I wanted a character to come out of the actual panel, then I just did it. I didn't really care because I wanted it to look a certain way and then to invoke a certain thing and just keep it interesting. So I did whatever I found interesting. There is no right or wrong way, technically speaking, to do paneling and just comic pages, and that's what I learned as I'm redrawing these, because I was just like, oh, this has to be in this, this has to be in this, this has to be this, this has to show a certain amount of panels, where you could just get rid of all those panels for one page that I did. I'll throw up right now. For example, I just made it all into one panel where he's like punching a bunch of fists, Fist of Fury, from the last video before I stopped, and condensed it all into that instead of having multiple panels of him just punching the same character. But it invokes a different feel. It looks more artistic, and it doesn't take up as much time, technically speaking, as redrawing that same character over and over again. Other than that, what I learned is that scheduling, you really should schedule yourself when you are drawing, because when I was doing the original first 3, like, it took me what, 2 years to do these redraws or so, because I just kept on getting stopped by family, work, other things, like life. I just kept on getting stopped by life. But if I had set schedules like how I was doing for the original first 3 before I started doing the redraws, like, I would have goals in a calendar. I don't have a physical calendar at the moment. I need to get a new one for this year. The one I used the previous year before this one was sold out before I can even get it, so I'm gonna make sure to get one this year, a big ass wall calendar, because I would use that calendar to set schedules, set goals and stuff like that, so it was a visual representation of how I was doing throughout the week. These goals I would just write down, say I want to do X amount of pages. If I get half of that done, I consider that a success, because I would do like I want to get 20-30 pages done in a week, which is possible technically speaking, but a lot of work, and it depends on how hard I paneled and stuff like that, and how much detail I want to put in each of the panels, and I want to have a consistent amount of detail throughout. So it was kind of idealistic, but not it, but it was technically realistic. It just depended on how much time I wanted to put into this. But I digress. Like scheduling, really big thing. When I had a schedule beforehand, I would set a lot amount of time to be able to do it within the week, and so I could have those weekly / bi-weekly updates depending on how far I got. So those first 3 were pretty consistent of how they were released. And I want to do that. I want to make sure I have a schedule, because it makes me stick to the plan. It has some pressure on me. It allows me to focus more because I have a set goal that I want to get done, and achieving that goal feels great, and then I can move on to newer things so I don't get stuck just doing the same thing for like over a year. So one of the main things I learned was just having a schedule, having a goal, visual representation of said schedule and goal written down that you can mark off, and then have some form of accomplishment when you want to move on to the next one. Another thing that I learned while I was doing these redraws is that make sure that your bubbling is good, like bubbling speech bubbles and stuff like that. When you're making these speech bubbles, when I originally making these speech bubbles, I was doing it on a pretty big piece of paper, like a large format piece of paper in real life. So I didn't really get that I need to make the bubbles bigger or smaller. But when I went back and did it digitally, I made the bubbles bigger, made the text bigger, condensed some text, rewritten some phrases and stuff like that, just to make it so it fits better and it's more easier to read, because I want to be able to have it eventually have a physical book. I want people to be able to read it online, on their phones, on their tablets, comfortably without having to zoom in and looking at the text. I want them to just be able to read it like a normal page. So that was a very big thing that I learned while redoing these pages. If you are doing like overlay text, text on top of the art itself, it's very good to have an outline. So what I do is I go into Photoshop, and then I'll have an outline of the text in white, so then it just pops away from the actual background, and it's easier to read for users to read said text because it's away from the background, and then it's just nice. It's nicer, trust me. It's just nicer. Also have a text format or a typeset, whatever it is, font. Yeah, font. I also have a font that I like that I've been using, so find a font that you like to use that is still legible. Just whatever one allows you to feel more creative. So I also learned that. One of the biggest things that I've learned from redoing these things hasn't even have to do with art. It's more of a mental health type of thing. Like, make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you're not overworking yourself if you have a job like I do, like a job. So make sure that you're not overworking yourself. Make sure you have some form of activities going for you, because right now, for the past whatever, I've been getting a bit chunky. Like, I think this is the biggest I've ever been. I'm only 227, but that's still the biggest I've been. I could drop a couple pounds, turn it into muscle, but I just wasn't active because all I would do when I didn't want to draw was sit down and play video games. So I've been in this chair for a long time. And then when I'm at work, I switched apartments, so I barely walk anymore. I used to walk a lot when I was at work, but now I'm more stationary, so I don't get that activity, like that exercise in. So make sure you have a good balance of social, like make sure you have a good balance of being social, not having social, but being social. Make sure you have enough sleep. Make sure you eat right. Cook your own meals. Don't eat out a lot, so you're just more healthy and whatnot. Make sure that you do exercise. Did I already say that? Make sure you exercise because you feel a lot better, especially if you're going to be sitting down for hours on end. Just make sure you have something else that you want to do, someone you want to talk to, people you like being around, just so you don't get very exhausted really quickly. Because doing these redrawings, I would get exhausted because it's something, again, I didn't want to do. I wanted to do, but I didn't like doing per se, because it's something that I've already done before. I just wanted to move on, do new things, work on new chapters and stuff like that. But this is something I needed to do if I want to have not a big jump in like artistic changes. As you will look at the first chapter to the third chapter now, you'll see that the progression is a lot better. Like everything looks a lot more consistent, and then my art style has changed, and for the better, in my opinion. So I just wanted to make sure that it was more consistent for when I do the volume updates, that I can just print it out and then give it to people or sell it. I'll sell it, like let's be for real, I'll sell it. But yeah, it was just a whole thing. Also learned that you still need to be consistent on social media. My likes and everything have gone down, but likes aren't everything. But make sure you continually grow that audience, can grow your community. I have a few people that follow me, have been following me for the years, and still like my stuff, and I still talk to them every now and again when we have questions or just want to compliment each other. So it's nice to have that online community, and it doesn't even have to be people you know. It's just be nice to people, essentially. Make sure you spread out and do things that you like doing. Like, I really miss making YouTube videos. Like, I really miss making YouTube videos. They are really fun. They're really a different type of creative outlook. I like editing things. I like creating videos in general. I've always created videos. I have a very old art channel called like my main character's name. So if you like just YouTube it, you'll find it, and it's like old artwork and how like Zeph used to look and stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting. I've always liked creating videos, have a gaming channel, catalog a bunch of games and stuff that I played. I'm gonna actually be doing that too. Still, I'm gonna be uploading stream gameplays and stuff like that I do, because I'm not gonna really game off stream for the most part unless it's like really late at night. I just don't want to set up a stream, and I just want to chill with some people. But yeah, it's just, I learned a lot. Essentially, I learned what I wanted to do, what I didn't like, what I did like, what I needed to do. Main things to take away from this is, even if you don't want to do something but you know you should do something, just push through it. Just do it, get it out the way, and once it's done, you'll feel really great. Make sure you have a schedule, make sure you sleep correctly, make sure you take care of your social needs, make sure you exercise, mental health, make sure that is down on lock. Don't overwork yourself. Allow yourself to take breaks, allow yourself to mess up, allow yourself to redo those mess ups for the better. Don't get too frustrated, because it's all part of the process. But yeah, I don't really it's just a lot I learned, and hopefully just by listening to this incoherent ramblings that you possibly learn something too, or take what I said with a grain of salt and apply it to yourself if you aren't in the already right mindset of doing something for a long time. But again, I can't stress enough, just make sure you schedule things out, because that is really great feeling of when you hit that goal, and then it gives you enough pressure to be able to push to that goal at a steady pace. Anyways, this video will probably be fairly long, just me talking, And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to read my comic, make sure to check it out. It's on my website over on ScionXAwakening.com. I'll leave a link down below. It will also be posted on Webtoons, Tapas, once I finish chapter 4. But as of right now, it is live. It is only on my website. The new updated pieces, I have put the older ones, like I still have the older ones, so you guys can read it and look at it and see the progression of art, panel by panel. It's over an archive tab over on my website. But yeah, don't forget to check out my other videos. Don't forget to check out my art channel and follow me on my social medias: Instagram, Twitter. I don't use Facebook. Twitch. Make sure you follow my Twitch. Go follow my Twitch. I have a bunch of Twitch content coming of like doing different things for Twitch, animations for Twitch and stuff like that. So videos for that will be coming soon. Hope you guys will enjoy. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.